I found your slide, Marcus. So, would you like to take a few minutes to, like 1 or 2 minutes, to tell people about you and your connection to first responders?
Sure. You see the picture on the left? That's me in my heavy days. I am now 120 pounds lighter than that. That's public safety is a high stress job, and I like to eat. So my favorite food is groceries. I'm trying to be humorous here.
I
The
like
one
that.
on the right, that picture was taken in 1988 at the beginning of my public safety career. The other person in the picture on the right, he ultimately became the chief of police and now does consulting for law enforcement across the country. I worked in public safety roles for a long time, but I'm going to take this next minute and 20 seconds to tell you a story that Santa inspired me to share with you. It is the story of, and it's a hero story, but it's the story of the Jew who saved Christmas. I'm pausing, nobody's laughing. Uh, I, I'm Jewish. Half of my family is not. There was a conversion several generations ago to Christianity. And what I used to do on Christmas is I would dress up as Santa. And this was I worked in the entertainment business. I would go from house to house like a mailman, and they'd leave the presents outside. I'd throw them over my back, read the night before, was the night before Christmas, and go. And I'd end up at my family's house, the last stop. So my little cousin, who's getting married very soon, she's in her early 30s. When I was there, she was about 7, and I'm dressed as Santa. I do the whole Santa thing. Then I go in the bathroom and I change into, regular clothes, and I join the party as me. And I did that one year. And I come back to the party, and she's already told everyone at 7 years old she knows cousin Marcus is Santa.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my goodness, what do I do? And I was in my early 20s at the time. This is beyond my expertise." So I go to her father. Now, her father, who's my generation, is a born again Christian and a minister. So I'm like, I need advice. What do I tell her? And he puts his arm around me and he says, "Marcus, you're on your own." So I take her and her little brother to the side and I say, "All right, I want to ask you, how did you know I was Santa?" She said, "Well, I heard your voice, and you used to wear a bracelet, and Santa had the same bracelet." And I said, "Look, I didn't know what was going to come out of my mouth next." I said, "You're right, but let me explain to you how it really works. When Santa first started, he saw every child in the world, but the population grew. So now the real Santa goes to orphanages and hospitals for the kids that really need Christmas magic. And what he does is he hires people like me and teachers and other people who work with children. And you might see on the cartoons that the elves are working right until Christmas Eve, and that's just not true. They stop working right before Thanksgiving, and Santa flies a bunch of us up to the North Pole and teaches us how to act like him and gives us the costume and the presents. And just like a mailman, we have a route. So I always pick this route because I want to be your Santa because I love you guys. And this little girl with big brown eyes looked up to me and said, "So you're an elf?" And I said, "Yes, I am an elf." And that's the story of the Jew who saved Christmas.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
a cute little
Nothing
story.
wrong with that.
You're going to get my sense of humor throughout. And by the way, I was lying through my teeth. I had no idea what I was going to say next. And
Oh,
sometimes I want to listen to myself because I don't know what I'm going to say next. That was a joke.
well, on that note, I want to introduce to you all Marcus Melnick. He actually is a radio host, podcaster, speaker, public speaker, and an author. And Terry, you and Marcus definitely should get together and
Yes.
talk. But he did a TED talk called "Overcoming the Stress Response," and he's going to do that for us here today. Um, Marcus had done a interview with me on his radio program, which was up in the Chicago area, correct? Isn't that right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I was doing the damsel in defense and the defense products, so he is super big in defense. He's written a book called The Opposite of Safe, and he's also the tactical dad. He invented a really cool backpack for dads, and I actually have a cousin who he is the mom works and he homeschools and raises their 4 little boys. So I got to tell him about that. But anyways,
Very
so
good.
would you like to share your screen at all, or do
I
you want
would
to just
love
talk?
it.
Okay,
Let me
I'll make
get
you
to
a
the right
co-host.
moments. Share screen.
Make
Uh-oh.
co-host. I'm making you a co-host right now. There
I'll
you
be
go.
patient. I got
And,
excited.
and thank you so much, Marcus, for taking your time out to
Oh,
talk with
my
us.
pleasure. Okay, so let me share this. I'm sharing the screen, but I also want to share sound, and I'm in the middle of figuring that out right now. Share sound. All
So you
right. We're good.
got it. Okay.
We're good. Let me make this big so everyone can see it. And I keep trouble is when I go to the top of this, it is I'm gonna unshare.
Everything in the
Yeah,
everything's in the
it's
way.
all blocked.
Hmm. Yeah, I run into that all the time.
All right, there we go. I did it. Yay. All right. So uh I worked in public safety for since 1988, and I've taken the lessons I've learned from various real life and death situations, and have applied them to the small business world, to the corporate world, to the conference world, and how to overcome the human stress response when we're not in danger. Would you believe if I told you that our bodies, our perceptions are exactly the same, whether we're in life and death peril or we are experiencing what I call administrative strain, which means your client is yelling at you, your boss isn't happy with you, you've done something that you made a mistake and you're embarrassed, and you have all these responses. So I'm going to get into what the human stress response is and the system that I've come up with to overcome those. Now, the caveat is you're still going to be upset, but your brain is going to be geared towards addressing the problem on an intellectual level as opposed to reacting on an emotional level. With that said, I will tell everybody here, get out before I embarrass you. Can you imagine being spoken to in any situation like that? Let me take you back to a horrendous story, happened a year and a half ago, to my wife, whose name is Julie, if you haven't figured that out on the screen, and I. I worked in law enforcement. I shared an office with a sergeant who retired, and he went into the car business, ultimately worked his way up to being the general manager of a car dealership where you can see the Marcus arrow at the top. That's the building. That's an aerial view. I needed a car. So I called up my buddy and I said, hey, can I make an appointment? Come in and see you. Sure, no problem. So I went in, I saw him, I bought a car. It was a fantastic experience, so much so that I left positive online reviews and referred business to him. Now, wouldn't you know it, a couple weeks go by, and now my wife has the itch to buy a car. I wonder how that works. That's a little bit of a joke. She actually had the itch before I did, but my car was on its last legs. So she wants to get a car from the car dealership, same company, different manufacturer across the parking lot, which is where her arrow is pointing. So I called up my friend again. Hey, Julie would like to get a car. She identified one at the other dealership. Would you be willing to walk me and her across the street and introduce us to the general manager of the second car dealership? Now, we're all in small business, so we know that deals are made among people you like, trust, and are friends with. That was my thought process. So, day before Thanksgiving, a year and a half ago, we showed up at 10 minutes early. I always am early. And the doors open at 9. We walked in to meet with my friend. My friend, I'm making quotes if you can see my not the screen, but me.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there. Okay, well, nobody knows where he is. Finally, they get a hold of him and he's running late. How many people on this call have ever run late? I have. That's being human. It's certainly forgivable. So he showed up about 15 minutes after our appointment was. It's no problem. But now all the salespeople have to get into his office for paperwork and temporary license plates, and because the business is operating now. So another 15, 20 minutes go by and he comes up to us. Hey, what are you guys doing here? I kind of probably quizzically look because I don't have a lot of good control over my facial expressions. And I said, we have an appointment. Oh, and he's laughing. He's like, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast. How many people in here? Let's see. Give me a thumbs up if you operate off of a calendar. Yeah, we're getting thumbs ups. So in my business, I operate off of a calendar. Okay, so he didn't have a calendar. So he walks us across the parking lot and he disappears. Now we're there for about an hour before a 1 minute introduction. And he comes out with a gentleman and he introduces us. Now I found out later we asked to be introduced to the general manager. We were introduced to the sales manager. Perfectly okay. That's the person who's got to make the deal. No problem. They're chit chatting about not about the car. And my wife is as nice as can be. She is a fourth grade teacher in an impoverished area outside of Chicago. And she always has a very pleasant, nice, affect tone of voice, which I don't. So she's the yin to my yang. So really nicely, pleasant tone of voice. She said, hey, can we start talking about the car? And then my friend, quote, friend, stuck his finger in her face and said, you got to understand something. I'm doing you a favor. And I was in cognitive dissonance. I couldn't believe this was happening. So, again, nice tone of voice. Quietly, she said, are you yelling at me? And he escalated. This is going to take all day. You don't understand how this works. And at that point, Papa Bear came out. And I said, I'm sorry, we're not going to be doing business here today. As we were walking out, my friend said to me, pointed to the door and said to me, get out before I embarrass you. Oh boy, did that give me what I call the hot stress mess. I had all of I wasn't in any danger or anything, but I had all of the human stress responses. I had tunnel vision, auditory exclusion. I had memory issues, trouble sleeping. I had to double up on my antacid medication. That was a little bit of a joke there. So before I get into what this all is, let me explain a little bit about my background and what I do. So I have a bachelor's and a master's in criminal justice, went to staff and command with Northwestern, started my public safety career, which included security, law enforcement, and firefighting in 1988. It's my other world. I am a firearms instructor where I teach police officers and civilians how to safely use firearms. Been shooting since 1980. I'm a published author of several books, Second Generation Inventor, which Angela pointed out. I'm also a court-recognized expert witness, radio show host, and like Terry, I am a keynote speaker. So yay, got a connection there, and I will definitely be reaching out. That is a picture of me on the screen. Aren't I cute? Give me a thumbs up if you think I'm cute.
Which one
Thank
are
you.
you?
Too.
I'm on the right. Oh, Natalie, you stole my thunder. No, I'm on the right. So that's a little bit of a humor thing. So we all have parts of our brain, cortexes and amygdalas and all that good stuff. So let me tell you about the amygdala. The amygdala is the part of our brain. It's just above our brainstem. By the way, you're not going to be quizzed on this later, but it is our emotional control center. When we are in an emotional state of mind, what happens on the inside of our brain is more blood flows to our amygdala and less blood flows to our prefrontal cortex, which is all where our rational thoughts occur. And we get what's called an amygdala hijack. Who here has ever been in an argument or discussion and later on, oh, I didn't finish, Angela? We've all been in arguments. But later on, you thought of either the perfect thing to say or you've regretted something you've said. You have experienced an amygdala hijack. Later on, the stress hormones have dissipated and more blood flow goes to your prefrontal cortex, and then your cognitive abilities come back. I call the amygdala my trunk monkey because it initiates the fight or flight. And let me show you what I mean when I say trunk monkey.
think you're honking at, huh? What, you don't like the way I drive?
Can you guys hear it?
I'll give you a drive.
Yes.
Okay,
Want a
good.
piece of me? Why don't you come out and get you some, huh? Where are you gonna go now? Well, you can't speed up by anybody now. You think you're better than me? Well, you think, oh, I don't like the way you drive. What, you got a fancy new what? Huh? Keep out!
The trunk monkey, a revolutionary idea you'll.
All right, so that's why I call it the trunk. There's actually 5 reactions when we talk about fight or flight. There's only 4 on the screen, and I'll talk about the 5th one in a minute. So we either fight, flee, freeze, submit, or if you're me, you eat. That's how I deal with stress. When we say fight, we're not necessarily meaning fight. We're meaning react to the situation. So imagine you're driving and you see a yellow ball roll into the street. Oh, you slam on the brakes because you don't want to hit the child that's going to be, or the last time it happened to me, I didn't hit anyone. The dad ran out into the street without looking. So the whole idea is to keep everyone safe. You stepping on the brakes means you are fighting. Does that make sense? Okay, so if fight or flight's just the easy way it rolls off the tongue. When this happens to us, we get perceptual limitations. If you look at the image on the left, that is tunnel vision, where you can only see in the center of your vision. You can see that the periphery is darkened out. Then what we do is we experience hearing loss. And not really hearing loss, but we filter out everything that is not an immediate threat to us. And this is what it sounds like.
Give him a call. Ask him if he would get in there February 15th.
I'll do that.
Will do.
Oh, that sounds good. That'll give them enough
Good.
time.
Yeah, which is good because that's right on track with
Hard to hear.
what I'm doing to make sure that all the tenants are knowing about what the parking.
So if you can picture on an emergency scene, a police officer, firefighter, paramedic going up to someone who's just been involved in a trauma and asking several times, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" They're experiencing auditory exclusion. Same way when a cop will say, freeze, get down, and then the person's not listening to them, they're experiencing auditory exclusion because they are in a stress reaction as well. The other thing that possibly could happen to us is what happened on the rooftop scene in the movie The Matrix, where Neo, the main character, is getting shot at, and he does the slow motion backstroke, and he's dodging bullets, that's fiction. But the scene plays out in slow motion. Has anyone ever experienced anything happening in slow motion? If you haven't, ask a teenager to take out the garbage. They'll act in slow motion. I have teenagers. That's how I know that. So the system that I came up with, and I appreciate you guys laughing because that's what makes me tick, is called LEARN. And it's an acronym. L stands for lungs, E is in vision, A is awareness, R is respond, and N is nice. And we're going to go into this. We're going to participate in this so you can learn how to calm yourself down, oxygenate your prefrontal cortex, and respond to a stimulus with intelligence instead of emotion. So L stands for lungs, and there is a breathing technique. We've all heard of Lamaze. There's in martial arts, it's called Buddha breathing. In the military, it's called combat breathing. It means the same thing. So I would like for everyone, I'm going to explain it and then everyone's going to do it. We inhale through the nose. And the reason why is it releases other hormones that reduce blood pressure. We're going to hold it and forget about the number of seconds because everyone's a little bit different. Some people can hold it longer, some people can't. And then we're going to exhale slowly through our mouth while our belly is expanding and then contracting, pursing our lips as if we are blowing out a candle. The second breath is the same thing, except your belly doesn't expand, your shoulders go up. So we're all going to do this in 3, 2, 1. Everybody inhale through their nose deeply. Hold it. Purse your lips like you're blowing out a candle. Now the second breath, your shoulders are going to go up. So 3, 2, 1, inhale. Hold it. Exhale through your mouth, pursing your lips. And this is a repetitive process. It's oxygenating your thought centers. And the great thing is, you can do this without making a show of it. So if you're in an in-person meeting or on a Zoom call and you want to do it, you don't have to be as obvious. I mean, I exaggerate when I'm presenting just so everyone can see it, but you don't have to be as obvious as I did. So L stands for lungs. It is a deep breathing exercise. E means envision. So what we want to do is acknowledge the anxiety, saying, and I do this with my wife now, and she does it with me. Wow, I'm feeling a little anxious right now. So what makes you happy? What makes me happy, as you can see in the picture, is not necessarily that cruise ship, but a cruise vacation, a beach vacation. That's what I envision. And you repeat after me. Well, you don't have to repeat it, but in your head, you say something like, my mind is centered on peace and awareness, and I am grateful for this space. And you envision the best possible response. So, for example, let's just say you have an irate customer and something went wrong, and face it, in business, things go wrong, and you've got to smooth things over. The best possible outcome would be that customer buying more stuff from you, whether it's services or products. Envision that. Attitude determines altitude. So if you can have that in your mind as a positive, you will react positively. Next, we've got awareness. So there is something in psychology saying, you know, if you're anxious, name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 2 things you can feel. I do it a little bit differently. So instead of saying name 5 things that you can see, what you do is you look for a very small detail. For example, as you're look at my image, you can see my forehead has some wrinkle. I mean, my 5 head, because it's so big, has some wrinkles on it. That would be a small detail to look at. As far as what you can hear, you want to listen for. We want to listen for 2 sounds. Sound number 1 is, what is the sound that's furthest away, which may be my voice for you guys. And you guys tell me, what's the closest sound you can hear? Just blurt it out.
You.
No, closer than me. How about your breathing? Listen for your own breathing. That will make you focus back into the moment. As far as feeling, I'd like for everyone to make like they're going to pinch their fingers and just rub your fingers together. Feel the fingerprints, feel the imperfections. Again, this can be done under the table. You don't have to make a show of it. Put your hands together like the praying emoji. Rub your hands together. Feel your rings. Feel any calluses. Again, this brings you back into the moment. Smell is a little bit more difficult, but a lot of people use scented soaps. So you can take your fingers to your nose and give it a little sniff. And taste is kind of difficult when you're in a meeting. But if you remember anything after you walk away from today, if you forget all of these other things, remember just this one thing. If you are stressed and you can't remember how to calm down, you need to deploy warheads. I'm going to repeat that. You need to deploy warheads. What am I talking about? I'm talking about, oh, it's not showing up. Can you see it? The warhead, it's candy.
Oh.
It is sour candy. That's what I mean. And it's not because I have the virtual background, but I got a canister of them. Sour candy is actually a stress hack. When you eat a sour candy, several things happen. First of all, you have a tactile sensation in your mouth because there's a piece of candy in your mouth. The extreme sourness focuses your attention into the moment. And the sour face that you make is actually a stress reliever. When I gave this presentation at Purdue University, and that's, you can see that's the background, it was organized by several foreign students who were here on exchange programs, and they had never tasted sour candy. So afterwards, there was a networking group, and I had them all line up, and they all got sour candy. And if no one's ever had it, it's a treat to watch people's faces and them trying not to have that sour face. But sour candy, and it doesn't even have to be warheads. There's punches like a gummy type candy. It can be any sour candy, but the extremeness. It can even be an Altoid. Altoids are very powerful. It's a powerful taste. Next, the R is respond, don't react. We've all heard of the 6-second rule where you drop food on the floor and then you got 6 seconds to pick it up. And by the way, don't do that because Mythbusters debunked it. There's still going to be bacteria on it. But if we wait a minimum of 6 seconds, those hormones that are in our blood system, the epinephrine, which is adrenaline, norepinephrine, which is a transmitter, cortisol, all dissipate. It's different for everyone. I need a lot longer than 6 seconds to kind of walk away, at least mentally, maybe physically, calm down and come back. That's me. Who knows what the 4 magic words in a relationship are that are supposed to diffuse an argument? All right, I'll tell you. You're right. What were you going to say?
I'm wrong. Please forgive me.
That's 5 words.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, but you're on the right track. So it's you're right. I'm sorry. But same, see, you said the same thing. It doesn't have to be 4 words. Does it always work? No. But if you do it in a kind tone and you use nice, would you kindly be willing to? And then if they're not, then they're the jerk if they're not willing to help you. Use please, thank you. It's kind of silly that I have to say this type of stuff, but when we're in an emotional hijack, we don't always remember to be polite. That's a big thing. Emotional responses are not all bad. What are some how do people feel when they're in the hospital? They're sad, they're sick, they're visiting someone who's sick,
They're scared.
or they're having a baby. That's a positive emotional, or they're visiting someone that has a baby. Or maybe they work there and they're getting off work and that's a positive for them. So let me show you what a positive amygdala hijack looks like. So emotions are positive and can be negative. Again, we see the learned system. L is for lungs, E is for envision, A is awareness, R is respond, and N is nice. And if you look on the right, that QR code is my electronic business card. If you'd love to connect and do a one-on-one, I would much appreciate that. I already wrote down some people I would like to do a one-on-one with. Terry is one of them. I want to talk about speaking with her. And the QR code on the left, I love to get feedback, positive, negative. You liked it, you didn't like it, because I'm not stagnant. I improve. I try to expand my horizons. So if you have feedback, and it doesn't get posted anywhere. It just comes to me so that you can say, Marcus, here's the worst piece of feedback I ever got. Too many jokes. People learn when they're having fun. So that's why I do that. That is my style. And sometimes people confuse substance for style. So what questions can I answer? Bueller. All right, I'm kidding. Just unmute and start asking.
Who's got questions? Nobody.
Marcus, I appreciate everything you said.
Thank you.
Goes along the lines of my coaching too as well. But the thing about it is that I've never heard the learn and you broke it down so beautifully.
Thank you.
And that was really, really helpful.
Well, the reason why you've never heard it before is because I made it up.
Oh, okay.
I was looking I'm like, what acronym can I have that's a good framework? And it took a while for me to find that word, but it fit. And it used to be breathing. And I'm like, well, L I can use for lungs. So I made it fit and made it work.
Okay.
I also I put in the chat my contact information. If I didn't add this, but I'm going to tell you now, the opposite of safe.com has my books. And one of them it's a book and a workbook it's entitled Overcoming the Hot Stress Mess. And that's the supplement to this presentation, which is, I mean, Terry, you're a speaker, so you know everything is scalable. I can do a 4-hour, I can do an 8-hour. And honestly, this is my dream. I love going to conferences and companies and groups such as this and delivering basically to keep people safe, because psychological safety is a thing as well, and so is career safety. So if, like Terry, if anyone has any contacts or people that book speakers, I would love an introduction. And thank you everyone for allowing me to live my dream.
Thank
What
you
other
so
questions?
much.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm
Um,
available for questions. Sometimes people don't want to ask them publicly.
Right.
Feel free to reach out. The contact information, I can have a private conversation with you as well.
yeah,
The information is in the chat. I'm happy to do that. You're not bugging me.
I have a little a little example of the I what was it again? I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
You,
Um,
I'm
uh,
sorry, you're right.
so I was in a fight with my now ex-husband long time ago, and it was one that I was one of the rare ones that I was actually in the wrong. and, um, and I was like, okay, I've got to end this. So I go up to him and I intend to do exactly what you said, but I went up to him very humbly and I said, I humbly accept your apology.
I do that too.
And I did not mean to say that, but that's how it came out. And we both started laughing, and it like the whole argument ended right then and there. But I meant to say what you said.
But if you think about it, you introduced a positive emotion into a difficult situation and it diffused it. So good job. It's, it's not word for word, you're right, I'm sorry. It's to snap people back into the moment and move on from whatever conflict is there.
Okay. Yeah, and if you see people dropping off, it's not because they didn't like your presentation, but people
Oh my
have other
gosh, I'm
meetings that
long-winded.
they're going to anyways. But
Yes.
no, this was worth it to me. Just it was
Thank you.
very, very useful information, things that I can use. And I know I don't know if you ever talk about it, but when someone's in an abusive relationship, there's kind of this, you actually get addicted to that stress
Yes.
response. And
Yes.
so that's very, very good information.
Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing so you can continue on with the meeting.
Yeah, I'm just going to go through these really quick because I know other people have to go too, but let's see. Go.
There we go.
I've got your information up there. I am going to share this on our YouTube if that's okay with you. And
Absolutely.
yes, so y'all can go back and watch it later. And these are our spotlight speakers coming up. We're booked up through let's see, September. We have openings in September. So and Natalie, if you need me to move you up, just let me know. I can move you to September 30th. Whenever it's convenient for you. No, this is old. And normally I would do announcements and testimonials, but I want to jump to this moment of inspiration. Make decisions, set standards, and take actions that will get you closer to becoming the best version of you and the person you were born to be. That's by Ed Milet. He is with our company actually, but he's also a very well-known inspirational speaker and coach. Our last joke for the day is one veteran said to the other who survived pepper spray, he said, I've survived pepper spray. I'm a veteran who survived pepper spray and mustard gas. And the other veteran said, I'm a seasoned veteran too. Get it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
It was good.
I
It
do.
was good.
A seasoned veteran too. Okay, so that was the end of my little thing here. I'm going to stop sharing so we can all see each other. Thank you so much. What does that say? Oh yeah, the power of one more. Yes, Ed Milet. Very good. Yes. I recommend watching some of his videos and stuff too. Well, Marcus,
Awesome.
I loved this. Thank you so much.
you.
And if there's anything we can do to help, like liking on your social media and sharing your information, we'll be doing that.
I'm
And
gonna
then-
reach out offline. I got speakers for you.
Oh, for me here?
Yeah,
For this group?
yeah, I got several. So I
Great.
will, I'll reach out, I'll start making introductions, and these are people I've worked with. They're good. They're real good.
Great.
Different topics,
Yeah.
various topics.
And I know we talked before we did the interview about the damsel in defense.
Yes.
My daughter is kind of taking over that now. She's doing
Okay.
the damsel in defense, and I'm focusing more on the financial education. But
Is it the same contact information?
yes, AngelaNelson.life. And
Good, because I just did a class. I got referrals for that.
Oh,
do.
okay, great.
Like 2 days ago, I did the class. So
Oh, okay, good.
I'll be sending them your way.
Okay, great. And we should set up another one-to-one just to get caught up on the things that we can help each other with. So
Deal.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, Terry, for doing an awesome job with the helping me out. So,
Oh, you're welcome.
and Marcus, I hope you can come back. We meet every week. And so some weeks, you know, we've got a lot of us, and some weeks it's a smaller group, but
Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good. I'd love to.
all right, great. Thank
All right.
you.
Y'all have a great week.
You too.
Great
Thank
success.
you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Marcus, call me.
I will absolutely do that. Talk to you soon.